So we were just on the relationship topic of things, and obviously we have the Simps and the Pimps. And
Oh, it turns out, I mean, we found out some stuff already.
nah, that's like would that bother you? Like my situation, but if it happened previously, and would you react the same way?
What do you mean if it happened previously?
Like not like in between, like if it happened before you guys.
Well, we have an exact. I don't know if we're allowed to speak about this. We won't say names, but we spoke about this yesterday. But that's Fetty. You have something against. Okay, we're not going to say names. We won't say names.
Yeah, well.
But both our girlfriends will be mad if we say this.
I'll tell you something afterwards.
Okay.
So we can't speak about it now.
No.
Okay.
You can.
I'm fine with it.
You can. Don't make it obvious.
Okay.
You'll talk about.
Yeah, I'll take
Bro, you have to say it now. You put it out there.
Okay, I'll just say there's a person that what you and then me and then him. That's all.
So like we've all been with.
Okay. No, you made it way too obvious now, but okay.
Damn.
Well, you wouldn't.
I don't know who you're talking about, but like that's it's crazy.
We were fine. We're fine with it. Like it's not like it's not an issue.
It's crazy how small the world is, bro.
Yeah, we didn't know that until we actually put it together.
Yeah, so yesterday it was like, and I was like, no.
Oh yeah, I was like when you did it, and then I know.
Oh gosh, man.
That looks quite crazy.
That's what scares me. That's what scares me about the city, bro.
Yeah.
There's a saying I wrote before you guys came. What does it say? It's like weak men don't compete because if you don't compete, you can't lose. Right?
Okay.
So how important do you feel like in the success formula you have to have that competitive edge where it's like I want to beat you type of thing?
Big time, dude.
But even with the people you're working with, like vibe.
Oh, like you would say, is there any competition with us?
Of course.
I think we're on each other's toes. Like maybe we would create some friendly competition, but our goal is to like outsource everything. We want to be business owners, not workers whatsoever. So we have spoken about creating competition within our company, but not us too. Like we create competition within the employees, because right now, yes, we both have to work our asses off to get to the point where we don't have to work. But the main goal is to have our employees be competitive with each other, and we don't do.
So we benefit from the employer.
Yeah, cool. Do you boys think that saying that goes like I'm only competing with the man in the mirror is like a coping mechanism like for the reality? Because when like back in the day, right, if we were competing, which competition has been a thing since the beginning of time, like, of course, amongst men, but it'd be much smaller now because it's only like the men that you live with, you see every day. There's no social media now. You see what I mean? At a good level, and like it could be fair competition, but where it's now, bro. And naturally, humans compare themselves now. There's this like we're connected with the whole world. So a 22-year-old that's doing really well for themselves here sees you, man, and that's a completely different level. So competition is everywhere. Yeah. Number one, and we have to become aware of it and accept it, and then compete, and then enjoy and find something that's gonna help you enjoy this journey. But then a lot of people have, you remember I was talking about the words of affirmation people say to themselves in the mirror, like, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
And then people tell themselves, it's only me against you, it's only me against you.
Okay, I know, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, but they know there's competition. Do you feel like, because I do that sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but do you feel like that's like a coping mechanism, or do you think there's some sort of method to the madness?
I'd say there's both, dude. I'd say like you, if I'm trying to better myself, that's a fight between me and me. Like, if I am currently lazy, let's say we spoke about my morning routine, I am competing with myself to make sure that tomorrow I do gym. That's completely me. I don't care if you gym or don't gym. That's for me.
What do you think?
I think there's levels to it. I think in the beginning you aren't really competing with anybody except yourself, because when you're at the beginning stages, nobody's even trying.
Yes.
But I think as you get to higher levels, you do start competing with others. So I don't think you can really say that you're only ever competing with yourself, because
Because what I did realize is that you'll never, especially today, like back in the day it would have worked perfectly, right? But today is like you're always going to find someone that's doing it better or doing it harder or doing it. You'll never get to the top of the top. There's always going to be someone better. So I've made peace with that. And I've made peace with like losing and learning and moving forward and stuff like that. Yeah. And you notice people like Elon Musk, who's probably at the top of the food chain. I don't think he thinks, oh my gosh, I have to compete with all these men and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's in his own world, bro. But I don't think he even competes, bro. I think he's on some other...
There's so many levels to everything. Like you can look at... Yeah, exactly. But like, I'm going to take music, for example. Like I have people who I compare myself to that is in my competition. Like I'm not going to compete with J. Cole at all, but there is some people that are quite famous. I don't know if you've heard of a guy named Token, for example, but I would say that that's like my competition, and he's way ahead of me but I am competing to get to that. But then above him, there's like, let's say, I don't know, Jack Harlow. Like, no point in competing with Jack Harlow. You're not going to, well, maybe you will. I'm not saying you won't get there, but focus on smaller competition first instead of I'm not going to try and beat Jack Harlow tomorrow. That's a stupid plan. And then there's still like Eminem, and then there's like Drake. Like, there's so many levels to competition. But do you feel competition with other small businesses? Like, when you go to uni, you said they all own business.
Yeah, when I go to uni, so our Instagram has about 150 followers. And there's one guy at uni, he's like, so how's your business going with only 150 followers?
Yeah.
Then I say, how's your 9 to 5 going?
Yeah.
But do you feel competition with the other?
Yeah, they're always checking up on you and how you're doing. But I think it gives you motivation. I think you get, when you ask, like, do we have competition within the business? I think that's healthy competition. Like, if we look 2 or 3 months back when I didn't have a girlfriend and you had a girlfriend, it could be like, he has his girlfriend, I don't. Like, I want to live like a life where I can love someone and have a job and have this lifestyle. Yeah. So it kind of gives you your own insider motivation.
Yeah, but it's also about perspective, because I don't know if you know Matt Does Fitness. He
heard that name.
He just released an energy drink, and he was on the Thirst podcast, and Mike Thurston was asking, is Prime like a competitor?
Oh yeah,
and
I was going to ask that now.
Yeah, and he was like, he wouldn't say a competitor per se, because there's enough in this market for everybody to eat. So it's all about perspective.
True.
But it's not like he's taking money off your plate.
Even Logan Paul said like, Kevin Hart has his own drink. You know that, right? I also didn't know it until I saw the podcast, but Kevin Hart has his own drink as well. And Logan Paul had him on the podcast. Now, obviously, they both have their own drinks, and Kevin Hart's drink was on the same table as Prime. And then one of the questions was like, is this weird? Like should I don't remember the exact question, but it was something like, should I remove Prime? Like, do you feel competition? And then he was like, dude, not at all. Your brand has your audience and what you guys represent. So obviously that's for your audience, and then my drink has my own story for my audience and what I represent. So it's like,
okay, I have a question for you, but before I put the question out, like, I like it if we're both winning and you're winning. Do you know what I mean? Because it's still like, if I'm losing and you're winning, then that's different.
Yes.
But if we're both winning and you're doing better than me, that's when I'm like, I love this. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm genuinely, don't get jealous, because I'm living a good life. I feel like people work hard just not to enjoy their lives. I don't know what the point of that is, bro. You have to work hard to enjoy something. But what I wanted to ask you about, that you do so much and in so many different niches. So I just wanted like your top 5 most inspirational people that inspire you to do what you do. Or
okay, yeah, that's easy. Literally the reason I do what I do is, number 1, Eminem, for sure. Been studying him since grade 6.
Is it because he's white?
Everyone does ask me that. I never actually considered him white when I was grade 6, grade 5, because he was amongst with 50 Cent, like, and their whole group, and like D12, everyone's like from Detroit, and like you watch 8 Mile, like even the black community in hip hop, most of them, especially the old school, saw him as part of their community. Like even Joyner Lucas said, and I'm not racist, he said from the white perspective, y'all can take that motherfucker too, he's not white no more. So from my side, I thought, yes, it was probably because he was white and he represented, like he was white, but he was still respected by the black culture, because the hip hop artists was also like black culture. And I was always like, oh, I can never be a rapper. I live a good life and I'm white. But then he does. And I was like, okay, well, he made it work. And he was also very against ever letting anyone tell you anything against you. So yeah, so Eminem for sure is like, stand up for yourself no matter what. Like your beliefs, you have the right to believe in them. I would say Conor McGregor too. Yeah, I love that guy.
He just released a documentary.
I watched the first episode this morning. Yeah. So did you watch it? Yeah. I'm excited for it because I've been following his journey as well. Like the video where he said when he was like, I don't know how old he was. I think it was like 19, like pimples, like bald head, like he was like a nobody. He was a plumber at this stage. I don't know if you saw the interview, but they asked him like, so what's your plan? And he was like, without a doubt, you're going to see me on the UFC in the near future. It's like, without a doubt. And then it's like, okay, what's your dream? Is like, my dream is to be the light heavyweight champion and earn more money than I know what to do with. But when he's saying that, dude, he's literally like a scrawny kid, like no tattoos, like pimples everywhere. And he's like in this quiet little room. And then it cuts to him literally winning the lightweight title, flying private, $100 million fights with Mayweather.
Had the belief in the mindset right from the start.
100%. No, but he did though.
Can I tell you something? So his wife used to pay for his lessons, and he didn't work, and he was just fighting, and his wife would pay for like his lessons and stuff like that. His wife, bro. His wife.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a different type of motivation, but I don't know any girl that'll do that.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom.
Oh, right. Yeah, my mom too. Eminem also had kids before he was famous, so just like similar, but and then 3 years Mayweather, like I know going into fighting, but that guy does like, you won't outwork him. Like, you know, when people say like, I'm the hardest working motherfucker in the room, like, I'm like, yeah, maybe not. I didn't really believe you, but I do believe Mayweather is the hardest worker from what I've seen. Okay, fair enough. I don't know much about Ronaldo, and I'm talking about if in a room, like, you get people that make the comment like, I'm the hardest worker in the room, but you don't know that. You don't know what I do. I don't know what you do behind the scenes. But Mayweather can confidently say, I'm probably the hardest worker in the room. But if you put him with Ronaldo, I don't know. I don't know much about Ronaldo.
Okay, carry on with your list. I think that's a...
Ish. I don't know about these are pretty much the only people that I've really that I've really looked up to. Lately, Andrew Tate's been making really good comments, so I've been like agreeing with what he says. Yeah. But I think the three people that have like really influenced me is Eminem, Mayweather, and Conor.
And you, Byron?
I don't know. I was gonna talk about Ronaldo for. I think it depends on what sport as well. Like, you need a different mindset for different sports. For boxing, for instance, or UFC, you need a more of a bestiality mind. You know, not bestiality. Haram! Like a beast mindset, you know. Yeah. But with soccer, it's not as like rugby, for instance, as well. Like, you need to be more rough and tough. But for football, you need the fitness mindset. So it all depends. But talking on the Conor McGregor started off from nobody. Kylie Jenner is considered the world's first self-made billionaire.
That's crazy.
But now, how true is that? Because she has Kim that helps out. She has Kanye. She has all of those people.
And I don't know if this is factually correct, but I heard that people used to send her money so that she could be the first. Just random people.
Oh, really? So when she got 900 million, she was so close, and she needed like a few more days to get to this. So people would send her money.
That's ridiculous, bro.
So how is she considered this?
Ridiculous.
Hey, but you're going to hate on the hustle, bro.
I can't hate on that hustle, bro.
Sometimes I do, dude.
That's a load of crap, bro.
What's your thoughts on a girl making lots of money from OnlyFans? Respect or, okay, using your body?
Before we get to that, I just want to say I find it very interesting. That most of our people, our inspirations are athletes. Like, same as me, bro. I don't watch all the sports. I watch dabble here and there, but I respect the mentality. I respect the beast mentality. Floyd Mayweather went 20 years without being defeated, and like, he broke his hand like towards the end of his career, and every fight he was having was a championship fight, bro. It takes a different type of man, a different type of dog to maintain it for 20 years. That's crazy. I respect it so much. But we were actually talking about the OnlyFans thing, and so it's a big no. Let's just start there. Like, no.
You don't respect it or no?
I can't say I don't respect it, because I do.
Yeah, let's say it's a girl that not related to you. It's not your girlfriend, right? It's just a girl, and you just happen to have a conversation.
Of course I respect it, dog. I think the biggest asset you can have is time. And these OnlyFans chicks, bro, they chill at home in their nice apartment the whole day, smoke, do whatever the fuck they want, and make bank.
But now she thinks she's better than you because she's bragging that she makes more money than you.
That's true. That's the thing. That's why I don't respect OnlyFans girls, if I'm being honest.
That's what I'm saying. Because fair enough.
Because first of all, they're not putting in a mass amount of work for it. Because they just put their bodies on and they just get it. But also, they don't have good management systems. They don't know how to run a business, anything. They just post themselves online, and the clout comes to them. They're not putting in any work.
Isn't that impressive, bro? Not trying and still succeeding?
No, no. Because it's
a perspective of like, I'm working so hard and I'm jealous and I'm angry. Just see it as like, and the overall of things, bro, everybody needs money. Everybody's got to pay their bills, bro. Like, straight up, everybody's got to pay their bills. And like, look at someone, Tristan Tate, for example, right? He makes way more money than the OnlyFans chicks. Do you think he cares about them making money? He doesn't. No. He doesn't give a fuck.
No, of course not.
But like, he wouldn't publicly say he respects it because it's bad for the brand. But I'm being honest here, bro. Like, if you finesse, there's nothing I hate. There's nothing I can. If you're finessing and you're making the bag, bro.
Okay, yeah.
Doing what you're doing.
But okay, fair play. Fair. Yeah, I'll say fair play. I don't care how you got the money. You got the money. Well done. And you're rich and you're living a good life. I'm not hating on that. I'm not going to be like, you don't deserve that money. You shouldn't be rich. Like, I'm great. Like, well done. I'm glad you're rich. But I don't want you to come bragging to me that you're better at business or any form of I'm this. I made $1 million. I am worth it. Yeah. Don't talk to me.
You know what I think it is? Like, I got it now. So a lot of girls really care about what people think about them. Like, they really, like, you can't, but like, they really care. And I feel like OnlyFans girls have the mentality of, I don't care. And I think I respect that to a sense.
Okay.
I'm not saying I respect the hustle. I respect the mentality behind it.
Yeah.
Like, I've had different experiences with different chicks. Like, I can tell what type of chick is gonna become an OnlyFans betting. Like, I can tell. But like, with them, like let's say I post something about them or I post them, like dog, there's no overthinking, there's no sending me messages, there's no calling me and being like, oh, what if people, there's none of that. They're just like the story and move on.
Yeah.
Whereas a normal chick that I know has the same mentality as this chick and they're the same, but she's just hiding it. And she's just really overly paranoid about like what people think about her, is constantly like spamming me like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. And I'm like, at the end of the day, we've been here before. You know I'm going to leave this up and you're going to be chilled with it and you're just overthinking constantly.
Yeah.
I can't respect overthinking, I'm sorry. As normal as it is and as much as everybody goes through it, there has to be some way where you cut it off, bro, because I feel like if you overthink, you're always going to make the wrong decisions because you're going to get it right. You should trust your instinct. You're going to get it right on the first go. And once you overthink off your instincts, once you go further depth, you're going to fuck it up.
That's what I was saying before the podcast as well. Like, I chose to not study, right?
Yeah.
And now with that, I overthink a lot of the times. What if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? Like, but then I have to keep a solid mindset and trust in myself. No, I didn't study, not because I couldn't, because I chose not to, because I will be successful in my own endeavors. So like, you have to stop yourself because overthinking, it happens. And like you said, you can't respect it. You have to cut it off. Some people, and oftentimes it is females, don't have the same kind of like, they do. A lot of females have a lot of hustle mentality, but some don't. And it's kind of like they just let their thoughts take over. Yeah. More guys are more likely to, not also true. I mean, you've also said something like there's some guys that do overthink and let it get the best of them. But most of the time it's like, you have to like trust yourself, positive thoughts, and like,
but you know,
stop.
I don't respect it. I feel like I think of you as a female, like as a bitch, kind of like when you like that. And I'm like, I've seen this before, but only in chicks. And I don't expect that from you. I expect you to be better because you can tell if a man's going to be successful due to the amount of stress he can handle.
Yeah.
Like, and like I said earlier on off camera, like why I respect Reeghan so much and why I also respect you so much is because I have no choice but to take you guys seriously. This has to work. Like when there's this video of Andrew Tate saying, people don't understand when you're rolling the dice and you have to hit a 6. And they're like, but what if you don't? But you're like, no. I respect guys like you so much.
Yeah,
like I could.
No, but there's no backup for me. There's like 50 Cent, get rich or die trying.
Yeah, for real.
Even Andrew
I don't
Tate,
think people deep it.
yeah, that's one of my favorite things. And Andrew Tate actually said himself, he would rather be broke and free than medium and in the Matrix is what he said, but basically live a regular life with making a shitty salary but having to work all day. He would rather be he would take the risk and rather be super rich and own, it was all or nothing. He is happy with, he obviously wants all, but he would rather accept nothing than all or nothing.
Yeah, and like that's another thing, bro. It's like no matter, like wait, there's not a specific salary that would ever make me stop this podcast, bro.
Yeah, respect.
Like nothing, bro. Nothing you could offer me. That's why I will never be able to work a job.
Sorry.
Here's something that I'm thinking about that you just brought up with the OnlyFans thing. As you said, no amount of money will stop you from making this podcast because you get fulfillment from it. Yeah. The girls that are doing OnlyFans, the majority of them are fucked up, depressed, have shit mental health anyway, because they're not putting in the work. They're just getting a shit ton of money from it because they're not putting in the work.
It's the fulfillment.
And you need to put in work to feel fulfilled by something. It's the same with lottery winners. How often do you see stories of lottery winners winning the lottery, then they go and burn it, and then they're fucking depressed because they don't know how to manage it.
Even sportsmen. I mean,
sportsmen as well. Yeah.
Mike Tyson went broke because all he knows is fighting, and that's what brought him his joy. But he didn't know anything about money.
Yeah. And then it all comes at once, and you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to manage it. Then suddenly your life just changes overnight, and you don't have to put in any work anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
And you get depressed.
We will respect. We'll be so proud of ourselves. Oh, we're gonna be proud when everything happens because we know.
Yeah. Well, last week Thursday, so I had 72,000 rand invested in my crypto account, and it got hacked last week Thursday, and all 72k got drained from my account, and that's almost all my savings. So I messaged Chad. I was like, dude, it's a learning curve. I'm not gonna invest in crypto again, but one thing is for sure, we have to make sure Beasler works. Yeah. Because this is like I'm riding on this now. I have nothing left. So.
Yeah. Same. Like I said, I was like studying property, but not like a degree. So it's like this is it. But I was gonna say also respect to you because I also watched your podcast like a while ago, and you've obviously grown since then. I mean, the setup is insane. Yeah. And something Andrew Tate said recently was really cool. He was like, he has some friends coming up to him saying like, oh, I have a really cool business idea. And then a week later, I don't know if you saw a video.
Yeah,
a week later, he goes like, so how's your business going? He's like, what business? It's like, well, a week ago you had the idea. Why the fuck's it not registered yet? And
that's what I'm picking up from you guys. You guys are killers, bro, in terms of execution. Like, cause like it was just the other day, you guys were sad. Like I remember the phases.
Yeah.
It almost feels like just the other day you guys were doing Take a Lot, and now you're on something else. Or just the other day you were doing flipping those airs. Like I remember.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's all about execution, bro.
Yeah.
Like I also get these ideas, but like I'm executing what is priority wise. But the execution is so important, and a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people have ideas and they're good ideas, but they don't have that killing mentality.
I've had people in my family that like has been my biggest inspiration to not become like them.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things they do is they always have this next big thing, and it never is. So I would hate to be, and I'm putting it out there, like, you can kill me for this. I hate to say, like, I got this is going to happen, and then I don't do it. Like, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the music videos. The reason it's so cool is, like, it always starts as an idea in my head, and then when I watch it, like, that whole idea is now live. Like, even though it's something small, it's just fulfillment.
Bro,
Like,
it makes me want to cry sometimes when I'm watching a podcast. I'm like,
yeah, you did it. Like,
I did it,
you said, you told, I don't know who the first person you ever said to was, but you probably went to them and said, like, I'm going to do a podcast. And then they probably said, okay, cool. Maybe they believed you, maybe they didn't. Oftentimes, I don't believe people when they tell me, like, oh, I'm gonna like do this. Like, okay, cool. Probably not gonna do it. And then you do it, and then it's like I give you so much more respect. That's why I make sure we say we're gonna do something, like,
That's one thing I love about, because I'll get random messages throughout the day. It's like, Chad's like, I just got out of the shower. I have this new idea for Beeslow. Can we try this? And then we try it. We make sure we execute every idea. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
yeah,
But that's what separates us from the majority, because the reason you don't believe people when they say it is because so many people talk crap when they say stuff. They just bring up this idea like, I want to do this, but then they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, Toastmasters. I started doing Toastmasters for a little while. I was like, I want to try it. And then I went and did it. And then I told one of my family members about it, and they were like, oh, dude, that's so cool. I've been wanting to do it for the longest time. I'm like, why didn't you? What's stopping you? Toastmasters is a public speaking thing. So you have to prepare speeches and talk in front of a thing. I did it to get better on camera.
Oh, so your friends have been wanting to do it for the longest time, then you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good feeling, right?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is I immediately did it when I wanted to, but they were talking about they wanted to do it for the longest time. And I was saying to them, why don't you?
Exactly,
What's
yeah.
stopping you?
Yeah, bro. I don't think people realize that sometimes, even if you're average, if you're keeping a consistent pace, you're gonna get somewhere. Because I know so many people that are so talented, bro, but they just don't have that killer instinct.
Yeah.
And I know I need people with killer instincts. I don't care what you can provide, because wealth is a mindset, bro. Like, there's a guy who won the lotto and he lost like 18 mil in like a year or two, bro, because
For 1 year.
because habits, your habits, bro, your habits, and wealth is like it's a mindset, bro. It's crazy.
You got to stick to, I saw a video of What Makes You Rich is like, when people get an increase in salary, they increase their expenses, which means their profit stays exactly the same. So if you poor now, you get a higher salary, your expenses increase, you're just as poor as you were before you started. The whole point is to spend less, make more, not make more, spend more. Unless you obviously get to like McGregor. But I was going to say about McGregor is one thing he does is he puts it out there, right? So I told my girlfriend I was going to buy, I was like, you know what? I can't keep using my mom's car. I'm going to buy a car. Next time you see me, I'm going to have a car. And then she laughed. And then I was like, no, I'm actually going to go buy a car. And then next week I was like, I was a bit tired, but I was like, I told her I'm going to have a car. That was the reason for me wanting to go do it. So sometimes I believe in what Connor does is speaking it into reality. So because I've put it out there, I've already told someone I'm going to buy a car. I can't be like, actually, you were right.
And you have to go and do it.
So then I sent her a picture. I'm at the car dealership, and then I couldn't make that car work. But eventually I did buy a car. But because I told my friends and my girlfriend and my mom, I'm going to buy a car. Now, if I don't do it, I'm exactly what I'm afraid to become. That guy who says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Get the attention for saying you're going to do it and then not doing it. So it's putting it out there and then doing it is what McGregor told me.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way, bro.
Thank you.
Another thing that someone told me, bro, is like, that makes a lot of sense, is that it's best not to talk about the things you're going to do, because it brings you, when you say it, it gives you this like this boost of euphoria of like you've already done it type of thing. And I get it a lot as well. Like when I'm, especially on the pod, when I'm talking, I'm always like, I get this euphoric feeling, but when I'm done, I always have to calm myself down and know it's back to work from here. This is not like a break.
Yeah.
Because you get that thing and you're like, yo, I did it and I said it and I know I'm going to do it, but then you kind of, you kind of almost have to taste it already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of, you kind of have to already have it even though you don't have it. But people forget that even though that's the case, you still have to execute that part and make sure people see it.
But it keeps you going.
It keeps you going.
I think that's exactly what we do. We come up with a new business idea and we're saying, okay, if we have this many clients a day, and then we do go on the calculator, and then we're thinking, but that's if we have this many clients a day. We don't have that many clients yet, so we have to get.
We get so excited about that.
Dude, same.
Break it down.
Same. I have this nasty thing. I don't know. I have a belief that I am unlucky in the universe because whenever I do these things, I always end up losing it. Like I'll calculate how much money I'm going to make from something. And then as soon as I've got that calculation and I've looked at it, it never fucking happens. Yeah. So I just have to leave it alone and ignore it and just put in the work. And then only will it happen.
I think this is our first business plan where we haven't worked out. So every business plan is like, how much money can we make from this? How quickly can we make money? And then, but this is our first business plan. This new thing, we can explain it in a bit, but this new thing that we're doing is like, we haven't looked at our profit margins. We just know that it's a good service. Why would anyone say no to this service? And in the future, we different ways to monetize it. But the service we're offering now is just, I don't know how much it can make us. We were trying to, we haven't even looked at like how, we looked a little bit, but for the most part, we like, this is a good service and a genuine business idea. Let's run with it. Like later in the future, we can look at finding ways to make more money through it, but we'll just stick to giving it service.
You want something to start and happen because you're willing to make a loss in the beginning.
Yeah.
If you truly believe in it, you're willing to sacrifice a lot, and I find that very impressive in people. Not a lot of people can do that. That's probably what holds a lot of people back, dog, is that they're not willing to take the risk on themselves. Like I'm a gambler, Brian. The biggest gamble I make is on myself constantly. I just keep betting on myself.
But that's fair. Like that's how it should be. Like trust yourself, bet on yourself, and then make it happen.
For real.
I saw a motivational video, the best one, the one that changed my life, grade 6, got me thinking the way I do. Since I saw this video, if you guys want to check it out after, please do. Maybe you know, it's called Why Do We Fall? That was the first one. And the second one was How Bad Do You Want It? And then he basically said, if you've ever, I don't know if you guys have asthma. Do you?
Do you have asthma?
Okay, but let's just say you're watching a sports game, like your favorite sports, like a football match, and you get an asthma attack. Or let's just say you're choking on something for your guys' sake and you can't breathe, right? Like, you don't care who's playing. You don't care who's next to you. You don't care which goal you're trying to get with. The only thing you're trying to do is get some air. Right now, your only goal is, I'm dying, I need some air. Yeah. So if you want to be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was the thing. It's like 50 Cent, like, didn't sleep when if he wasn't filming, he was recording the backtrack. They were like, when do you sleep? He's like, sleep. I've got songs and this to do. Like, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful.
That's crazy. That's true. The first one that flipped my mentality was like, you have to be a slave to your craft. And I was like, I don't think people deep like what a slave is, bro. Like, you're not getting anything in return.
That's actually mad. Now that
I was like, yo, bro, then it just changed my mentality completely because I've been gymming a lot. And when it got to a point where I realized, I'm like, bro, I'm buff and broke now.
Yeah.
I'm just buff and heading back to make money. And like, eventually I'm probably going to branch out into like personal training and starting a business with that.
Sick.
But for a long period of time, I'm going to have to be a slave to this thing and just seeing nothing back in return. Just being a slave to it, dog. And I don't think a lot of people are prepared to have that run with what they want to do, bro.
Trying to make money quick.
Bro, it's crazy. So we have 2 minutes left. I don't know if you boys want to say. Okay, I do have one more thing to say. In terms of talking to people, so you said, like when you talked about the car, for example, and you said you spoke with your girlfriend and your mom, right? So with that thing, when talking to people, it's like, if it's the first time we're linking, or it's the first time we're talking, and I say something to you, and you say something to me, I know for a fact, if I don't do this thing that I've said to you, the feeling and the aura you're going to have from me is the aura of someone that says and doesn't execute.
100%.
And I like having people around, like you have to tell the right person. Because there's certain people I just can't disappoint. Like if I say something to someone and I know, I'm like, he's also a fucking fuck up. Yeah, I'll probably won't do it as well, right?
Yeah.
But when I was saying something to someone who probably doesn't really care but is listening and I respect them, I'm like, yo, okay. Like I know I have to keep pushing because I want them to.
They hold you accountable, yeah.
Exactly. But it's like a aura feel, man. It's like you can't explain it. It's like with certain people, you just know everything that's being said right now is manifesting. And that's why I love this platform so much, because I don't put anyone here who I don't feel like we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, love. Thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate it.
Dude, it's so sick being on this.
Thanks for
Anything you want to say, Reeghan?
No, it was a good podcast.
Yeah. Sweet, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram.
Me too.